I used to stand and make videos a lot back in the day. I haven't done this in a while. Feels nice. I owe you guys an explanation to why I made a comeback video and I didn't come back and this is only my first video in 2 weeks. I'm just gonna cover everything I wanted to cover, like everything, where I've been, what I've been doing, how I got to where I'm at now, because, you know, just making an individual video for every single one didn't feel right. And honestly, I kind of want to just start pumping out like legit content for this channel, and I'd like to kind of start expressing myself a little bit more in my music and a little bit more in a bit more of an artistic way with this channel also. So I've been like attempting to write scripts and I've been doing stuff, nothing is really there yet. So rather than waiting until I can figure this new stuff out, I figured I'd just update you guys and let you guys know in a video as quick as I can where I've been, what I've been doing. Okay, I'll probably cut most of that out. So yeah, I ended up I started getting really dark, depressed, you know, when I made that first video. And what ended up happening is at Amazon, where I was working, I started getting, and I'm gonna be as upfront and honest right now as possible, I started getting very suicidal and very depressed and dark, and to points where even talking about it really scares me. It got so bad that I started having to open up to my wife about it, and then it got so bad that it was scary as fuck. I just had to reach out to doctors, and luckily with Amazon they have actually good benefits, and I was able to not only see a therapist but a psychiatrist. So I was able to start therapy on a weekly basis, and I was able to talk to a psychiatrist about taking medication to help what I felt like was really severe depression, some sort of weird mental shit. I didn't know what the fuck was happening. I was starting to get to a point where I was confused at work. Like, I was smoking so much weed, I got lost in just everything, and I just really was scared, because there were days where I made a video where I felt what was like a 10-hour long panic attack, and where it felt like a psychedelic trip that I was on, and it scared the fuck out of me. I literally felt like I was going crazy, and because of that, I started to really consider taking medication. Now, I know this is probably a really touchy subject, and I didn't really want to, I don't know, I've been trying to tread lightly about talking to who I talk to about it, and making a YouTube video about it, you know, whatever. But if you're this far into the video, I mean, you deserve to know, I guess. I've always been really against antidepressants, any sort of, you know, of the man's medicines and things like that. You know, I've always kind of thought that just weed and exercise could help it all, and there is a lot of truth to that. But I think what I'm starting to understand is life is very complicated. People are all different, and along with all the scary stories that I've heard about antidepressants and medication, there's actually a lot of really happy stories. A lot, and I had no idea until I started researching it. You know, some of the I don't know them. Some of the smartest people in the world have taken antidepressants. It's actually a very common thing, and I figured, I kind of got to a point where, like, hey man, if I've sniffed coke that I bought from random people at raves, and I've, you know, taken pills I didn't know what was in them, and I still drink energy drinks with sucralose, which who knows what the fuck that'll end up doing to me in the long run, and there's so many different things that I put into my body. I think that I was just personally holding a bias to these medications and taking them because of a lot of ways that I grew up and a lot of things that I had heard and read and things like that. And rightfully so, you know, there are a lot of scary stories, and I think that that's something that you really need to research. But I will say, personally, for me, after doing the research and getting to such a desperate spot in my life, I said fuck it, and I tried them. So it's been like 5 months now. I take Lexapro in the morning and I take Seroquel at night, and I feel really uncomfortable saying that for some reason. I feel like I'm like coming out of the closet or some shit like that. I'm coming out depressed. I was diagnosed with bipolar bipolar 2, which I guess is like a less severe, like I don't know, kind of like a less severe version of it. So that's good. But also, I was diagnosed with PTSD, which is kind of wild, and just kind of ways I was raised, and not ways I was raised, but things that happened when I was younger that I'm still kind of holding on to and having issues letting go of, which I'm sure a lot of you guys who are really into the music and my videos probably know, but yeah, so I've been taking those, and I couldn't really tell when I first started taking them what was happening, because I had gotten vaccinated at the same time. The same week that I started taking my antidepressants and technically antipsychotics, I actually got vaccinated. I'm gonna have so many of you guys that are just gonna hate me right now after saying not only am I coming out depressed, but I'm coming out vaccinated. Oh my god. Yeah, I got vaccinated, dude. I don't really think that it's, I guess I could say this. I absolutely disagree with the way that it's going about. I absolutely disagree with all most of the regulations and a lot of the bullshit ass rules that make no sense to science. I think that this has been politicized and overblown, and I think that it's just that's what I think. So I honestly do regret getting vaccinated, because I didn't want to do it in the first place, but I did it because my daughter had to. I thought my daughter had to, and we kind of jumped the gun on it, and whatever. Yeah, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I take antidepressants, antipsychotics, and I'm vaccinated. Anyways, back to my story as I tried to like, like, so I'm not sure exactly how the medication felt coming on, and what was actually just the vaccine kind of fucking with me. I did feel really odd and weird for a couple of weeks, but it wasn't really that big a deal. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I smoke so much weed. I think I think that a lot of things that I deal with, like body aches and pains and sicknesses, I don't really feel because I'm constantly smoking weed. So sometimes when I don't smoke, it's like I feel things that I don't normally feel. That's just a little side note, I guess. I'm still smoking a lot of weed, just so everybody knows. We'll get into that, I guess, maybe. But anyways, I can't really say exactly how physically, the antidepressants and whatever my medication is making me feel. It's kind of hard to say. It's when I do take the Seroquel, that shit knocks me out. That shit chills me out. What the Seroquel seems to do is kind of just keep me very, very level. Even though I take it at night before bed, it just keeps my brain from fucking, like, my values and who I am as a person is the same consistently. That's what I feel like is the Seroquel helping. The antidepressants, I feel like, or the Lexapro, is what I feel like really helps a lot with my anxiety and social anxiety, things like that. I think that the Lexapro would be working better if I didn't smoke so much weed. I think sometimes I smoke so much that I bring on my own anxiety and shit like that. And that's me being totally honest. I know you're not even supposed to smoke weed when you're on Lexapro and all that other shit, but a lot of people do. I will say I do. I know you shouldn't. Sorry, but don't do it. So yeah, and as far as like how they've affected my life, that is what the true fucking wildness lies in. It's my life has totally done a 180. When I started doing therapy and when I started on the medication, everything changed. I got my driver's license because I literally signed up for my DUI classes and went for the last 4 months, 2 times a week on the opposite side of town. It fucking sucked, but it was actually kind of interesting at times. I'll probably tell you, I have a lot of stories about that I'll end up telling you guys about. But yeah, it was a DUI that I had from 8 years ago, and I hadn't had my driver's license in 7 years, almost 8 years. So that's crazy, man. That's fucking nuts. And it's just like was something I just kept putting off, whatever. And then that was fucking crazy. Just the fact that I was able to sign up, pay the fucking $600 or whatever, like over time, and just consistently go. I only missed a few classes. Like, that is a huge deal for me. On top of that, I got my GED. Obviously, I talked about this, but the crazy thing is that I did it all on my own. I did not take classes. I didn't buy books. All I did was watch a few YouTube videos and take the tests. I didn't even barely study. And I got really good grades. Like when I passed the science one, it said that I had college credit because of how high I scored, which blew my fucking mind. Like, what the fuck? My wife kept telling me, Monica kept telling me, like, just take the test. You probably pass them. You're smart. I was like, oh my God, it's not that easy, babe. You know, blah, 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 blah. But I watched a few YouTube videos where it's like, it's not even that you learn information. It's just kind of you learn how to take the test. And it was kind of easy, man. It was easy in the sense that I did it from home. You can literally get your GED online. You just have to use your webcam and they watch you while you take the test. You have to take a bunch of pictures and stuff. It's really legit. But you can get your GED from home now. And all you got to do is take like 4 tests. And they're like $30 each or something like that. You got to take the ready tests, and once you pass those, you can take the real tests. But literally, it was so simple. It was like a video game. And this is all as I'm starting to take the antidepressants and the medications and the therapy too. And also taking steps on my own to just better myself too. So it's kind of hard to say what was what, but honestly, I don't really give a fuck, you know? Then on top of that, you know, there was a bunch of craziness that happened at work, and I don't want to get into it. That's one of those things I'm going to hold a little closer to my chest, but I basically ended my employment with Amazon. And it was abrupt, but I will say that it was a huge learning experience, and Amazon was kind of one of the best things that's ever happened to me in a sense, because I learned that I can work my ass off. I can do things that I don't want to do in order to get things that I want, you know? And it just changed me working there. And it's not saying that's like that for everybody, and Amazon is just a great fucking place, but I made it that way. Amazon, working there was one of the best times of my life, because it was some of the hardest times of my life, but I was able to get through it. So I learned a lot there. You know, I got the fucking medication. I went to therapy because of the benefits I had with Amazon. It was fucking legit. Like, I learned so much about myself. So that was amazing. And it really sucked that my employment ended as abruptly as it did. But what ended up happening is I took that upon myself to make it a good thing. And I started applying for jobs I normally wouldn't. And I applied for an IT job that was actually here in Victorville, where I live. And I got it. I didn't think I would. It was like, it was one of those jobs where you have to do like these fucking 50-minute questionnaires, and like, it was not easy. But I got an interview, and just getting the interview was scary as shit, you know? And then I got it, and I was just like awestruck, because it's an IT job, and IT is just computers. You guys know, if you watch, you know, this is what I do. I've been on computers since I was young. I can do stuff, you know? And I got the fucking IT job, you know, entry-level IT job, you know, which is very rare, but I got it, and it's a field that I can legitimately challenge myself in, better my life in, develop a legitimate, well-paying career in. And it came from, you know, me just putting myself out there and taking it upon myself that a bad situation would turn to a good one. So, I don't know, it's just, I don't know what the medication is doing. I don't know what the therapy did or is doing. I gotta start therapy again. I did like 20 sessions or so, 25 sessions. But yeah, I gotta wait for my new benefits to kick in before I can start again. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what is what and what helped and what didn't. But I truly don't care. I'm in the best spot I've ever been in my life. Me and my wife and my family are in the best spot we've ever been in our lives. It's I don't know, and I don't care. So take that with a grain of salt. This is all my life. This is not yours, and this is, you know, my story. And I'm not saying that this will be that way or won't be that way for you. That's just where I've been and what I've been doing. And right now, I'm just really, in the last couple of weeks, you know, since I made the comeback video, I've been just really kind of focusing on the job, which is a lot more challenging than I thought it would be. You know, I really thought I was smart until I started this job, because these dudes are fucking nuts with what they know and what they can do. And I didn't even really understand how in-depth, like, networking and stuff like that can, and like just servers and wild, you know, computer shit can go. So I'm in a spot that's totally uncomfortable and scary to me, because, you know, honestly, in the first few days, it was really, really hard. I didn't know if I could do it. But 2 weeks in, I feel great. I love it. I wear slippery shoes to work. I hate that, but yeah, that's where I'm at now, man. Working, and I try to focus on that, and I'm trying to develop a some new kind of content for you guys on the channel. Also, I'm making a new album. I know it's called Home, and I will just say right now, holy fuck. I just told this to my wife earlier, if there's anything that I become successful because of, it's gonna be this album. It is something new, and I can't believe that I'm making some of the best music I've ever made in my life while I'm on antidepressants. Like, that just blows my mind. But yeah, man, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Have you guys had, stories about Lexapro? And do you guys have any trip stories about Lexapro and Seroquel? I don't know. I love you guys so much. Felt good to get that all off my chest and into the YouTube sphere. I missed you guys, man. I've missed you guys. I'm probably gonna do a live stream here in the next video. I don't know, whatever. I'm talking too much. I love you guys so much. Yeah, that's it. Love you guys.